Today we're looking at the Sterling Continental 580. We're going to do the setup guide and also a bit of a review and just show you where everything goes and how to set the caravan up. Starting on the door side, we're going to just run through what the caravan has actually got. So we've got an external 240 or external 230 socket, external storage to underneath the front seating. We've also got an external locker that is to underneath of the bed. We've got a gas barbecue point on the front here. There is an adapter required that goes onto your gas pipe and pushes into this, and then you can turn it on and off by the yellow tap. That does then come off the main gas bottles. Again, it's all set up for propane. We've got our test bottle on here at the moment, and this is the bottle that will stay with the van. We've set this up with a hand wheel, so you don't need a spanner to tighten the gas up. To turn your gas on and off, just turn it on the bottle. On the hitch, we've got the Alco AKS stabilised hitch head. We have got a hitch up guide in the description. You'll find a little link to our hitch up guide. It's set up with 13-pin electrics, so just make sure your car is set up with 13-pin electrics. This also has the Alco ATC, so again, if your car is set up with the 13 pins, the Alco ATC will also operate. As we connect to the car, you'll hear the braking system come on and off, and we'll get a little green flashing light or a little green solid light. As long as we don't get a red light, we're all okay, and we're happy to travel with green flashing or green solid. Moving on to the offside, we've got the Aldi water heater vent. We've got the fitting for the external shower. The external shower is also in the front locker. So we've then got the water connections. At the top we've got the direct to tank, which uses the blue hose. So if you're using the onboard water tank and you want to fill that up, this is the hose that you're going to use. If you're using the system and we're just going to go straight to the taps, we want to use the bottom connection. It says on the bottom here direct to tap, and that just drops into your aqua roll and plugs into the side. Battery compartment, the battery already set up on the van. The motor mover switch is just in here also, and then to connect the 230 mains hookup lead, we just literally push this straight in. There is a little notch here that will allow the cable to come through and this to lock up. We have also got an external aerial point, so if you go to site and they've got they've got a satellite system aerial point, you can plug straight into the site satellite. Fridge vents, we don't need to do anything with that. We've then got our wastewater points, so all of your wastewater from shower, kitchen tap and bathroom tap will all come to there. And then we've got our cassette toilet. To remove the cassette, we lift up the little orange tab, pull this out, turn the funnel, remove the cap, and the little button at the back is just an air vent. As we tip this out and hold this in, that will empty through. We can then clean out the tank by opening the little trapdoor up here, blue chemical into the bottom, and then this will just slide straight back in. We've got a little drain off valve for the flush water just tucked away up the top here. So when you want to drain off the flush water in the winter, or if you've got too much in for travelling, this is the little tube. Pull the end off and that will just drain through. Flush water into the top, this will open up, just fill it up with a little watering can and pink chemical in that top one. Moving inside of the caravan, we've got our awning light on the outside. which is controlled via a little switch just as we walk in. So for our awning light, it's the first switch here, and that will control our awning light. Our main control panel for the Caravan is just above the door. We've got our main power button. We've then got our water pump, which will turn water pumps on. We've got our fill tank, which that will turn on the top blue water pump if we want to fill the water tank internal up, and we just literally click that button, and we'll also get an indication of how much water is in the internal tank also. We've then got leisure battery power, and if we were connected to the car we would have vehicle battery. We've got a little light on here just to tell us that we're connected to the 230 volts, and then we're lit up just saying that we're running on the Caravan battery for the leisure battery. Again, we have got a view levels, which again will show us the battery power and also our fresh water tank power. Before we put our water pump on, we need to make sure that all of our taps are in the closed position, all our drain valves are in the correct position, and I'll show you those now. So at the front, underneath the front chest of drawers, we've got all of our water connections. We've got a little diagram that when the cupboard folds down, we've got a bit of an instructions. So we've got our setup for our internal tank, we've got our setup for our external supply, and also then when we want to drain the van. So if we're using internal tank, firstly would have used our blue pump on the outside and our fill tank button above the door. Would fill up the onboard water tank with the taps in these positions, and then we could turn to using our internal pump or our water pump that would then run from our onboard water tank, our internal tank supply. If we want to use straight off the Aquaroll and we don't want to use our onboard water tank, we'd switch the dials to the position that we've got here. So on the little T valve just here, we've got that set up already for external supply. We've got our drain valves in the correct position as our diagram, and that is now ready to use from the Aquaroll outside with our white water pump that is at the bottom. Again, for winter, or if we're not going to use the Caravan for a while, we would then move on to the drain system, and it's literally just then opening up our yellow tabs, pop them into the upright position, and that will then, with both of those yellow tabs in the upright position, that will drain the system. We'd also want to open all of our taps up as well, and that will drain the whole system down for you. Once we've decided that we're going to use either our internal supply or our external supply, we've set our little tap up into the correct position, we've made sure all of our taps are closed, and we can now put our water pump on, and that will supply our water system from either our external supply or our internal tank supply. So we've set up now for the external supply, so I'll run the water. So all that we do now is pop our water pump on. We'll get our water pump, you'll hear that running, and we can then go and open our taps up. Again, it works on a pressure system, so we need to run all of the taps on hot and cold. Make sure that we've got no air in the system, there's no coughing and spluttering. Once we've run all of our taps, and even the shower tap, we've got no coughing and spluttering, we can then go ahead and put our heating system on. We can put our hot water on, and that will then start to heat the water in the Caravan. So underneath the bed we've got our main control panel, which we've got all of our trip switches for our main 230 volts. We've got all of our 12 volt fuses. We've got our main system shutdown button. We've then got the green charger button, so that will charge our battery up when we're plugged into 230 volts. And then we've also got our heating and hot water. Now this one has to be turned on, otherwise on the Aldi heating system we won't get the little plug symbol, and I'll show you that now. Yeah. For our water and heating system, we're set up with the Aldi control panel. We can then turn that one on. As we were just saying about the little orange light, if that's not on, we won't get our little plug light here, or a little plug symbol. So always make sure that our plug symbol is on, otherwise it just means that our switch isn't on, or that we've not got any 240 volts coming in, or 230 volts coming into the Caravan. We can then press our menu and we can then select what we actually want to do. So at the bottom, if we wanted to run the system on gas, we've got the gas symbol. If we want to use it on electric, we've got our electric, and at the moment we've got off. So we've got 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts and 3 kilowatts. If we go into a site that's got a low ampage, we'll want to run that on the lower setting. If we go into a site and they've got a real good power supply, we can run that on the 3 kilowatts. For our hot water, we've got a medium setting and a high setting. So again, that will then put our water heating on. We must make sure that we've pulled the water through all of the taps, as we've just shown you previously, before you put that hot water on. So on the top one, we've got our internal temperature, so we can then set that to what we want the internal temperature to be. For testing, we'll normally put that up to 30 degrees and just allow the system to kick in. When we come to our main panel, it will then give us information of our internal temperature. We've actually got 25 degrees at the moment, and we've got our electric on. If we wanted to use the Aldi heating now, either hot water or heating, we want to use that on gas, we've got our little gas symbol, and that will then turn our gas heating on. So to make life a little bit easier, we can draw our gas through on our hob by lighting all of our hob rings up. We can actually physically see that we've got the gas coming through the system. We can then turn our different gas controls down to low and high. And again then on our grill, again we've got the auto igniter. Again, you can turn that to a high and a low setting, and then same on our oven. Again, we can set the temperature then on our oven to where we want that on the control dial. On our fridge, that will then light up quicker on the gas if we've already run our system through. And again, we've got our main on and off button. We can then select what we want at the moment. I don't know whether you can see that lit up with the gas. Again, if we've run our hob through, our fridge and our heating should light up a little bit quicker and run a little bit better once we've drawn the gas through our hob and our oven. We've then got our temperature setting, so again we can control our temperature setting with this one. If we wanted it on electric, if we're paying for our electric site, we can pop it onto the plug, and also for towing we just pop it onto our battery. If there is a fault with the unit, or as we've got here we're not connected to the car, we'll get a little flashing light and a little beeping just to say that there's an issue. Again, if you've got the 13 pins connected on the car, when you've got the engine running, if you pop that on the fridge, that will stay lit as it should do. Then got our microwave. We've got our quick start button, our stop. We have got the timer that we can control, and cancel and clear. For towing with the microwave, always make sure that the microwave plate has been removed before you're going to tow. I'll pop that underneath of the cushion now. That's just going to end up falling out and most likely breaking the glass on the hob lid if that is left in, so make sure that's removed for travelling. We've got individual light switches throughout the Caravan, and we've also got lights or light switches on our individual spotlights. There's a couple of light switches located at the front which do our top cupboards. So we've got a light switch hidden underneath for the front handles. Also at the front, the little light as we walk in, we've got the light there, and that switch is from this button here, which is next to our high cabinet lights. So that second on the right hand side switch does the little bottom light. We've then also got our extractor fan, which we've got our main on button and then our directions. Always make sure that you've opened the lid and again we've got extract out and also blow in. And again, always just make sure that when you come to travel, or if you're going out for the day, that lid is back down again if that rains while you're out. Obviously you're going to get water coming in. Again, got so we've got little spotlights above the cabinets which are operated by the switch at the side there. Our spotlights work on individual lights. Our bathroom lights work on the little switch just at the side here, and that will put your mirror lights on. So we've got our flush button for the toilet. To open the little trap up, we've got the little grey handle at the bottom which pushes towards the back. And again, always make sure that's fully closed if you're going to remove the cassette, otherwise that cassette won't come out if that grey handle is pushed to the back. Make sure it's pulled right to the very front. You've also got speakers in the bathroom, and as I say, our little light switch for all of our lights is just there. Hopefully we've explained all the operations and the setup of the Sterling Continental 580. If there is anything that you're not sure about, just let us know, and again we can go over it in a little bit more detail for you. Thanks, Mark at the Caravan Place.